What if I told you you don't need a technical background or a CS degree in order to become an AI product manager? In this video, we're going to be learning everything you need to know about AI product management. We're going to talk about who an AI product manager is, his responsibilities, the teams he works with, the industries that have started adopting AI as a technology, and how can you break into AI product management without any prior experience in this space. Before we jump into the video, a quick reminder to subscribe to this channel for the best product management tips and content. You can also reach out to me across Instagram or via comments on YouTube if you have any questions. I will definitely write back. Let's get started. A recent survey of global business leaders indicated that 70% of these business leaders have already started using AI or are planning to adopt AI as a technology in their products or services. If you use your smartphone or even your computer, it's apparent that AI today is almost everywhere. So Google search, YouTube recommendations, e-commerce recommendation, which is Amazon, Netflix recommendation, everything that you use today is powered by some component of AI. Given there is such a high adoption, it becomes important for you as a PM to understand how these technologies are built. So what is AI product management? In a nutshell, AI product management focuses on using machine learning, artificial intelligence, or deep learning to enhance or improve your product experience. Imagine a world without Netflix recommendation or Amazon recommendations or even great search recommendations. Let's take example of Netflix recommendation system. So Netflix collects your data. Now this data is what you've watched. It takes that data, compares it with multiple cohorts or multiple user groups who are also watching the same TV show. It looks at what they're watching next and if they are liking it. So if they are liking it, it's also likely that you as a user will like this TV show that they are watching and liking right now. It will go ahead and then recommend you that TV show. Now imagine a world without a recommendation engine where you end up watching a little bit of every TV show to figure out if this is something that you want to stick with. So AI and machine learning are definitely solving a huge problem, even if they're not very apparent to you as an end user. So apart from the usual set of responsibilities a product manager has today, like customer research, market research, problem solving, feedback collection, product development, product strategy, product growth, etc. There are some additional responsibilities that an AI or a machine learning product manager should have. An AI PM has 3 additional responsibilities. Number 1, ensuring that the simplicity of the product is maintained. Number 2, communication of the product is well defined, especially for non-technical professionals. So when you're explaining how a machine learning model or how your product uses machine learning model, it should be simple enough for these guys to understand who have no tech background whatsoever. As an AI PM, you'll be collecting a lot of data, and when you talk about data security, you'll collect a lot of data and you need to ensure that the data is safely stored and used only for training purposes. Ensure that the data transfer pipeline, in some cases you may also need to delete the data once you have kind of trained your model using the data itself. Number 4, you should have knowledge about certain AI concepts like databases, model training, security protocols, API, etc. Now I've spoken a lot about model training, but how does model training work? Also, should you know how to sit and code a machine learning model? No. But should you know how machine learning models are built? Yes. Now assume you're building a product to extract text from greeting cards. How do you build something like this, right? Now, do you need to code this? No. But you need to understand how this will be built. For example, the very first thing is to understand what type of greeting card exists today in the market. Once you figure out the type of greeting card, obviously you'll not be able to take into consideration all type of greeting cards, but there will be certain patterns across these greeting cards, right? So for example, greeting will be repeated, then name will be repeated, etc, etc. So you figure out what is the most recurring, second most recurring, third most recurring, and then you categorize each of these cards in certain categories. Now the categorization is done on the location of certain text. So if greeting card 1 has greeting on the top, then that's your first category. Second has the greeting on the bottom, that's your second category. Now I'm just giving you an example. You look at multiple of these categories and there are a bunch of different subcategories also created between each of these. Once that is done, what you need to do is you need to give this data to your tech team. Now your tech team will use certain predefined models that extract text from images, but these models will not be able to categorize what this text is. So to take an example, they will extract the text, but they will not know if this is greeting, if this is the name, if this is the date, etc. That is where your tech team will need need to train the model. Now, when I say train, what they do is they take certain sample size of each of these categories and then teach the model where each of these is located. So it's also called labeling, where tech team will label this as greeting and the model will understand, okay, for these 300 cards, this is where the greeting is present. This is the training process for each of these categories. You need approximately 300 to 500 images for each of these. And once the training is completed, a usable model is created that you can use to extract text from the greeting card. So for example, if you had 5 categories, the first thing, what will happen once the image is sent to this model, the model will identify which category this card fits in, and then the model will only run for that specific category and extract the text and then categorize which what means what. So this is greeting, this is date, this is name, etc. You can choose to sell this as an API where you send an image to your model and the model categorizes text for the greeting card. Now this is how a machine learning model is trained. When you're applying for AI PM jobs, you need to ensure that you understand this very well, this training process really well. Now that you have a little bit of understanding on how models are trained, what are the kind of use cases that machine learning PMs are solving today? So OCR is one which we just spoke about. Then there is search engine, then there is face recognition, audio recognition, self-driving cars. Now there is text to image, where you put certain text and the model will generate the image for you. Text to videos, text to audios, etc. So AI to certain extent is present everywhere today, including the recommendation system, right? So when you are trying to break into product management or AI product management, you need to know how models for each of these use cases are built, right? Now, before I jump into how you can break into AI product management without experience, let's talk about the team structure of an AI product manager. So a normal product team would be where there is a PM, couple of tech guys, a design and sales and other functions, right? But in an AI ML team, what you also have apart from all of these functions is a data science and a machine learning team. A machine learning team will have a bunch of ML researchers who will constantly figure out the ways to do certain things, while there are certain machine learning engineers who will then integrate their research and build models and do training for these models. And that's the core difference between a machine learning and a non-machine learning product. Now, how do you break into AI product management without experience? So number one, learn use cases really well, like I mentioned, and know how models are built. Build a side project with one of the co-founders if possible. A lot of these machine learning models are available today across, as libraries. So if you know Python, you can build a very basic machine learning model of your own and then try to use that as a point of conversation when you're trying to apply for these AI PM jobs. Third, learn a programming language, especially Python, because it's used for a lot of machine learning use cases, and there are a lot of predefined libraries available already for Python. So even if you do a search right now on text to audio, you'll be able to find a library that automatically does this for you. All you need to do is train it further to refine it and make it more relevant to your use case. Finally, if you're working in an AI based product company, just see if you can transition from your current role to a more AI product role, because you already understand the product. All you need to understand is how the product is built. So this is all I wanted to kind of talk about when it comes to AI product management. I hope I was able to deliver the value that you were expecting off of this video. If yes, consider subscribing to the channel, dropping a like on this video, share this across with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one.